you mind introducing yourselves, the group and then individually to the cameras, please?
My name's Corey Locklear. I'm the guitar player for Darkwater Rising.
Hi everyone, I'm Charlie Lowry. I'm the lead singer and rhythm guitarist for Darkwater Rising.
I'm Aaron Locklear, drummer for Darkwater Rising.
Siraj Rett, trumpet, horns, galore, Darkwater Rising. Right.
And for anyone who isn't familiar with you, can you describe your sound? Not necessarily genre, I try to stay away from that word, but just your sound or the feel of your music.
We've, just to kind of give you an idea, we're from Robeson County. It's in the southeastern part of the state, from a small town. Well, I'm from a small rural town called Pembroke. And that has a lot to do with our sound and our upbringing and the different genres of music that are, all encompassed in Darkwater Rising. But we've coined a phrase for our sound. We call it Rocky Soul. So it's got several influences: gospel sounds, folk, rock, soul. Want to add to it?
Like she was saying, not genre specific, I would say it's at the end of the day, at the end of a performance, I think it is more of a soul-moving sound, something that is going to move you here more than anything else.
Heavy on we're big, and when we write our songs, big on the lyrical content and the messages that we're putting out into the atmosphere. So it's a lot of positivity in our music. It's very uplifting, and we think it has a purpose.
How'd you come up with the name Darkwater Rising? It's kind of captivating.
Well, as I mentioned, we are from Robeson County, and if you aren't familiar with that area, it's heavily populated with Native American folks, and we are Native. Corey, myself, and Aaron, we were born and raised in that area, and our people are the Lumbee. Politically, we identify as Lumbee, but our roots are Tuscarora, and we're also referred to as the people of the dark water because of the river that runs through our homeland. And it's called the Lumber River. And when we were coming up with a name, our first gig, we started out as the Charlie Lowry Band. But when we formed our band, we knew we needed to come up with a cooler name. And it took us months, but we decided upon Darkwater Rising. We knew we wanted to add dark water because it gives us a place of origin. It's our home. And then we came up with several funny names that didn't stick too well. Aces of Mercury, Darkwater Dirt Leg, Swamp All Stars. Those were a few of the names. But one day I was driving in my car and I was like, Rising. Let's add Rising to it. And I called Aaron and I was like, what you think about Darkwater Rising? And he said, that come across my mind too. And so we presented it to the rest of our bandmates at the time, and they all agreed that it was a proper name for us. So it stuck.
Yeah, the dark water, swamp water is heavy in Robeson County, so that's the Lumbee are originated from kind of hiding out in the swamp areas during the pre-Civil War times, and that's really where the name kind of stems from.
Okay, you mentioned being Native. Do you incorporate any of your Native tongues into your lyrics?
We actually cover a song from a group that's called Eulali. It's a Native American female a cappella group, and I sing with the reincarnation of the group now. It's called the Eulali Project. But the lead singer is Miss Pura Fay. If you ever get a chance to check out her, she's a very soulful artist, and she has this song that they wrote. It's called Mak Chi, and it was written in the Tutelo language, and the Tutelo people were common here in North Carolina and Virginia, and we incorporate that song into our set. And like I mentioned, it's written in the Tutelo language. Our people because of assimilation and colonization, unfortunately, we haven't totally lost the language. We have people that are trying to bring it back and revitalize it, but it's going to take some more time to get it to our younger generation so that they can keep it going.
I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina, so
Okay,
I'm all
yeah.
from around there. What has the reception been like at home? Because I've heard your name from back home. So what has the reception been like, you know, as a band to play at home and to play in front of, you know, your family, basically?
Yeah, they're all real proud of us. They're very proud of us, and we're their band, you know, because, like I mentioned, it's a place that it's very rural, a lot of farmland, and not a whole lot going on. So it, you know, growing up as children, it wasn't really common for you to grow up and want to make a career out of being a musician. So you don't see it too often, and when we came together and formed a band and started traveling around and winning awards, we instilled a lot of pride and still do in our people. So they're very proud and supportive of us, and a lot of them, they're, you know, native people. We don't particularly live on a reservation, but that's our home and that's our land, and most of the people that live there and are from our tribe, they tend to stick at home. They don't travel too much. So they always say that, you know, might not necessarily get out to your shows and travel, but we're here in spirit and support.
Now, what is your end game with music? And when it's all said and done, what is the one thing you want to accomplish with all of this?
Reaching as many people as possible. I don't think as a band nowadays that you can really set your sights on this big success, because it's just how much work you put into it. And at the end of the day, for me, it's the interaction with the fans and crowd and how you touch them that moves me more than anything else now. So it's just what you putting out. Is it really getting responded to, and is it really positive or negative, or how is it impacting the people that's listening? And that, to me, that's the end product of it all.
How long has the band been together? How long have you been together?
2008. We started in 2008.
And how did you guys meet?
Me, Charlie, and Corey were all students at Carolina, UNC. So we kind of met there initially. After graduation, we all moved back home to Robeson County, and at that time, the bass player at that time and another lead singer, we kind of all formed together at that time back in Robeson County. The intentions weren't to be Darkwater Rising. It was just kind of getting together to see what we could do, what kind of sound we could come up with, and the more we did, the more we were actually liking what we were doing. So I think that's kind of where we all met and how it got started.
Well, let me add that I've known these guys since I was 13. Like, we, you know, went to school together in different capacities, and Corey and I went to middle school together, but Aaron was in the next county over, in Hoke County, and I met him at the North Carolina Native American Unity Conference. So we knew each other in different capacities, but never playing music together until our college years. And we actually, Aaron played in marching band in high school and played the quints. And Corey never really picked up a guitar until 2008. And I've been a singer, well, as long as I could open my mouth and sing. Yeah.
We were lucky enough to play down in Atlanta, and this is where we met
Siraj.
And Jay came down a couple times, and I was playing with another band, like a rock band at that time, and I saw them. They opened up at the Loft in in downtown Atlanta, and it was just like this amazing show. And I really appreciate like Native American heritage. It's a part of me. You know, I do have some Cherokee and Chickahominy in my blood, and so seeing them perform and kind of seeing this kind of mix of so many different styles in one, and the singing is awesome. I was like, whenever they come to Atlanta, I'm going to check them out. You know what I'm saying? I have to check them out. I support everything that they do. And so they came, they came back a couple more times, and they remember that I played trumpet with this other group, and they're just like, hey, hop on stage. You know?
Please hop on stage. It's awesome. He just adds I don't know, he plays such beautiful music, and it just adds to our sound well. Really meshes well, so.
So we're just lucky to have him at any show we can. So.
Yeah, so I just came in from Atlanta, and I do like studio session work down there. And I work with like Zone 4, Polo the Don, and them, like, go buy that Monica album, I'm on that, so stuff like that. But I work with that kind of stuff, and I work with this here, and I do the best I can to kind of support what I think is true good music that we need to hear and move forward like that. So that's why I'm here. And I'm done.
And two of our members aren't here. They had something else they were occupied with this evening, but Emily Mussolino and Zach Hargett.
Yeah. Emily's actually born and raised here in Durham. She's a graduate from Berkeley School of Music, and she's actually playing over at Shakori Hills right now. But we met her about 2.5 years ago. She was opening up for us at the Casbah in Durham as a solo artist at the time. And she wasn't playing with anyone, and it's rare that I actually come across female vocalists that are as powerful as she is, and she can just wail on the guitar. And I asked her to come along for the ride, and she agreed, and so we've been writing together ever since, and we've got a nice blend with our harmonies, and so it's been an interesting journey thus far coming together to create the Dark Water Rising movement. But yeah, I'm real proud of it.
So you guys went to Chapel Hill,
Mhm.
Carolina. So I write sports. So I'm going to ask you this question. Chris Jenkins in National, I'm sure you guys watched the game. What was that shot like for you? That 4.7 seconds, and Marcus came all the way back. And
He did it
look,
quick.
I was there. I was crying,
It happened so fast. It happened so fast.
So what was what was that
I
moment
just
like?
thought Marcus Page was about to go down in history with the biggest shot in probably the tournament history, and all of a sudden it's
Gone.
5 seconds later.
I mean, he had a legendary shot. That was it. And then there was another legendary shot, that close together, and it was.
Yeah.
I'd call game after that Marcus Page shot.
Right.
Yeah, well, we've had some bad luck this year with sports,
Right.
but I guess at least we were in the big game.
So were you guys, when you were at Chapel Hill, were you guys into the big, Carolina Duke? I'm sure you can't go to Carolina and not be a part of it, so you're accustomed to Durham. What's it like coming back and, being back home, or not home, but being back where, guys met or we met and,
Yeah.
all that fun stuff?
I love being here, and it's even better because I'm back because of the music.
Right.
That's like you mentioned, after we graduated, we all went home for a few years, and there's not, like you have all these options up here, there's not really a true music venue down home. So we had to move back and get ourselves established, and we live right outside of Carborough.
Mm-hmm.
It's only like a 7-minute drive to campus, so anytime we're riding down Franklin Street, it brings back a lot of memories, but it's different being back as an adult and
Yeah.
as a musician.
And the seed of growth, not only in Chapel Hill, but Durham as well. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's beautiful to see.
What does the spirit of Art of Cool mean to you guys?
I'm sorry.
The spirit of Art of Cool, what does it mean to you guys?
The spirit of art. Well, I just love the fact that it's all centered around jazz and hip hop, and everything that y'all are doing to make a name for yourselves on a national scale, and bringing in a lot of artists. I spent a lot of my college years really listening to jazz music, and it's not something that I sing often now, but I still have it here in my heart, and a lot of influence from jazz greats. And just to be, you know, for our genre of music, and just to be included in the lineup means a lot to be here. So I hope that y'all come and check us out and see what we bring to the table, and hopefully you won't say, man, what are they doing here? Don't even sound like the rest of, you know, what's here. But I feel like if you come and you come with an open heart and an open mind, you'll appreciate it. So what about y'all? Siraj, I know it's right up your alley.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be around. And the lineup is amazing, and I mean, Terrence Blanchard and Terrence Martin, it's just too much going on. I just saw Drake the Beatnik. He's like a legend in Atlanta. It's like, I'm having a great time. So, yeah. But the sound is gonna fit in. It has that heart, you know. And a lot of these artists that you're bringing in have that heart, and they're doing something different, progressive. You'll see. Check it out. For sure.
Can you describe the moment, or when did it click that you could really do this for a living and make it?
I think probably the first time I heard Charlie sing, to me that was enough motivation for me to feel like I could do it, or getting behind her and getting the opportunity. And I would say the first song we ever wrote together as a band and sit down and played it, because we were all really new to the instrumentation, and that can hinder you. But when we sit back and put all this work into it, and we finally have a song, and we're like, hey, we're on to something here. And I think that was kind of the whole motivation for it. It's like, let's just go, let's just see what we can do. And for me, I don't know how everyone else.
I feel like it was the same moment. It was actually when we first started out, the invitation was for me to sing at Parents Weekend at UNC Pembroke. And they asked me to sing I think maybe 3 songs, and then it turned into a 45-minute set that they wanted from me as a solo artist. And at the time, Aaron was producing on the keys, and I would write to his tracks. And we were in the hip-hop circuit for a little while, going to, where was it in Fayetteville? What was it called?
It's an open mic, I can't remember.
Some Diamond Club or something like that through Foxy 99. So we were battling every week against hip-hop artists, just trying to find our way, trying to find our niche. And it's like, man, this ain't working. Let's learn instruments and let's start a band. And so we tried to get a set together for this Parents Weekend, and at the time we were a 5-piece, and we were all at Corey's garage practicing, his garage apartment, practicing, and we finished our first song, Same Old Thing. And as soon as it was over, I guess this was one of the better runs of the song. Of course, we had to work it up to get it to where it sounded good. But as soon as we finished, and just like the last note, we all looked at each other. We all looked at each other and was like, hey, that sounded good. Let's do it, and let's actually give ourselves a proper name, and let's go out there. And ever since, we've been independent, self-sufficient. We book our own shows. We manage the band, the website, Facebook, everything. So,
Because that was definitely the moment. I can remember it like it was yesterday. And that show was supposed to be, 15 minutes, turned into 45, and then it turned into two sets.